Have you ever wondered how an airline that was once the ultimate symbol of American luxury, a national pride, could completely vanish from the skies? How could a brand revered around the globe fail? Not in a few years, but over decades of slow decline. American World Airways, or Pan Am, wasn't just an airline, it was a monument to aviation. It represented sophistication, adventure, and the golden age of travel. We all remember the images: pilots in perfect uniforms, gracious flight attendants, and those iconic Boeing 747s soaring across oceans. But glamour alone can't pay the bills. Beautiful imagery can't save a company from a bureaucratic culture and costly strategic mistakes. If you are brave enough to see the truth behind the glittering image of Pan Am, comment below, "I want to know the truth." And make sure you subscribe, because our next story will show how culture and branding can destroy even the largest empires. At its peak, Pan Am considered itself too big to fail. At least, that's what its leaders believed. They were convinced their brand, their history, and their image of luxury were an impenetrable shield against any challenge. But inside the company, the culture was rotting from the inside out. It was highly bureaucratic. Every single decision had to pass through endless layers of approval. Any attempt at an agile initiative was drowned in a sea of meetings, reports, and committees. Imagine you're an employee trying to experiment with a new route, a new pricing model, or an innovative service. You'd face nothing but delays. Meanwhile, smaller, more nimble competitors were running circles around them. These airlines seized opportunities, opened new routes, adjusted their fares on the fly, and relentlessly optimized their costs. But Pan Am? They were stuck in the past, convinced that customers will always choose us for our name. They completely failed to respond in time. The landscape of air travel was changing dramatically with fuel crises, deregulation, and the rise of low-cost carriers. But Pan Am remained stubbornly convinced that luxury alone was enough to keep them afloat. They just didn't get it. A strong brand doesn't protect a business. It has to be paired with sharp operational efficiency and the ability to adapt. Now let's talk about the cost of being a legend, because luxury is a double-edged sword. Sure, it brings prestige, but it also comes with an enormous price tag. Pan Am invested heavily in everything premium, exclusive lounges, high-end in-flight service, and of course, its fleet of iconic Boeing 747s. Every flight, every amenity, every elegant seat added to a massive, crushing fixed cost. But here's the problem. That prestige didn't always translate into profit. Pan Am acquired and maintained a portfolio of unprofitable routes, many of which were just hemorrhaging cash without generating enough revenue to justify them. Meanwhile, competitors like Delta, American Airlines, and the emerging low-cost carriers were operating lean. They optimized their routes, cut prices to attract customers, and took full advantage of deregulation to expand their networks efficiently. Pan Am, on the other hand, just clung to tradition, luxury, and its inefficient operations. The airline's image remained dazzling in ads and posters, but behind the scenes cash was leaking from every corner of the business. They became so obsessed with maintaining their legend that they sacrificed profitability and agility in the process. So what can we learn from Pan Am's spectacular fall from grace? The lessons here extend far beyond the aviation industry. First, brand prestige is not a strategy. Admiration and a storied history won't keep your customers if your costs are too high and your ability to adapt is too low. Second, a bureaucratic culture is a silent killer. Slow decisions, a sense of self-importance and cumbersome processes will cost you opportunities and leave your company dangerously exposed to competitors. Third, you have to balance your image with operational efficiency. A luxury brand aura is fine, but you can never let it outweigh profitability and speed. And finally, adaptation is mandatory. Deregulation, new technology, and low-cost competitors all demand flexibility. If you ignore change, you are accepting decline. This applies to our personal careers too. Your past achievements, your reputation, and your accolades do not protect you from change. You have to remain agile, keep learning, and constantly optimize your own time and effort to stay relevant. Pan Am's downfall also reveals a fascinating psychological story. Its executives were blinded by their own legacy. They truly believed that past glory and brand recognition would guarantee future success. This is a classic example of what psychologists call status quo bias and legacy obsession. The belief that what has always worked will continue to work, and that change is not just unnecessary, but dangerous. The leaders relied on the halo of their historic success instead of confronting the harsh operational realities. The airline's bureaucracy, which we talked about, slowed down every decision and completely stifled innovation. Luxury and prestige became a trap, not an asset. They were so focused on protecting the image of a great airline that they ignored the core business metrics that actually keep a company alive. So, Pan Am wasn't just defeated by competition or external shocks like the oil crisis. It self-sabotaged through its own culture and warped perception. It failed to adapt, it failed to cut its losses, and it failed to recognize that a powerful image without solid execution is completely hollow. In the end, Pan Am didn't collapse just because of fierce competition or sudden oil shocks. It collapsed because its own culture and its obsession with image outweighed practicality and adaptability. The Boeing 747s remained beautiful. The posters were still glamorous. But this legendary empire flew straight into crippling financial turbulence. The very brand they worked so hard to build became a burden, preventing decisive action and killing any hope of agility. The takeaway for any business, or even for your own career, is crystal clear. An obsession with past glory and legacy can destroy your current performance and your future prospects. You must balance prestige with pragmatism, image with execution, and tradition with innovation. If the story of Pan Am has made you rethink corporate culture and strategy, let me know in the comments. Just type, "I want to know the truth," to share your thoughts. And please, share this video with your colleagues, friends, or anyone interested in how culture and branding can make or break a company. Don't forget to subscribe to the Seeds of Serenity for more deep dives into the rise and fall of great corporations. And for even more actionable insights, you can download our premium newsletter, Business Risk Analysis, for analysis on culture, finances, and strategic warning signs. Remember, a strong brand cannot save a weak culture. Only the right culture, combined with smart strategy and adaptability, can ensure survival. Thank you for watching.